Welcome everybody to more Heroes of the Storm content on Khaldor TV, and today we're going into the final series of the Go4Heroes Tournament, and this time it is between Dignitas and Alternate. We already saw Alternate play just not too recently, one of the games of the tournament, and now they have to go up against Dignitas in the final, in the best of 3 series. And the first map that we're playing here is Sky Temple, so we're gonna jump right into it without further ado and find out which team takes the lead here. Is it going to be Dignitas, or will it be Alternate taking the first game here on Sky Temple? Welcome to the final of the Go4Heroes Tournament, everybody. Game number 1 is happening here on Sky Temple, and we have Dignitas going up against Team Alternate. Starting to the left side of the map, we have Dignitas, and they are starting things here with Chris on Vala. As you can see, we have Tomze on Tassadar, Nurok on Sylvanas, Linked on Malfurion, and Blood Dragon. Mr. Mysterious on Myrddin. Always picks his talents extremely late, and we don't really know why. Alternate to the right side is starting with Gluehammer on ETC. In red, we have Krolu on Brightwing, Uchiyo on Jaina, Dark Wonix on Tyrande, and Nande on Zagara. So we have once again Brightwing apparently. Yeah, well, then we have the 8 Brightwing. I love that guy is throwing bananas around. I'm not really a big fan of the skin, to be honest with you, but the banana throwing is pretty damn awesome. I like that. So we have him in the game here. Blood Dragon is currently playing with Reverberation on level 1 for his Myrddin. Yeah, against right-click heroes, that's actually like really good. In this game, I'm not really so sure if I would have taken that talent. If you go for the Stormbolt build, you can do a lot of damage against structures, which is always cool, especially on a map like Sky Temple. I guess the right-click damage on a hero like Zagara can be annoying, so why not? And if he's able to jump into those fights, hell yeah, just go for it. But Stormbolt build is still very effective in this one. Right now we're having the push at the bot lane with 3 heroes for Dignitas. They're really starting to push that against the meta. Only Jaina up to the top lane. Double Conjurer's Pursuit on the side of Team Dignitas on Tassadar and on Malfurion, with Vala going straight for the multi-shot build. It is still extremely strong. Multi-shot build is still very strong for the hero. And, well, let's see how exactly this is going to turn out for them. I mean, at this point, you can really tell that the game is going to be mostly decided by those temple fights. Both of the teams are running compositions that are very much going straight for that, trying to use those temples as much as they can. Or like using the area of effect as much as they can right now. Krolu and Nurok are fighting down to the bottom lane as the rotation towards the temples is now starting. We still don't have level 4 for the teams, which is going to make it, of course, a little bit... yeah, if you fall back on the talents, I want to say, then it's always a bit tricky to fight those temples on level 4, because it can be quite annoying if your opponent has an additional talent over you. Chris and Blood Dragon are currently up at the top lane, and yeah, going straight for that push there. Trying to, of course, get the temple in, and down to the bottom lane we have Gluehammer now, and they are going with Nande for temple number 2. The 4 talents are coming into play for both of them. It's just a split between the temples that we're currently seeing here. We're having up to the top Tomze trying to gather the experience for Team Dignitas. Jaina, by the way, with that winter skin, which is actually pretty funny, and so we're going to have that snowman instead of the water elemental. I really like that Blizzard has a couple of themes that adjust to which time of the year it is. To the bottom lane by now. Talking about talents for a second, I'm extremely surprised to see Manticore here. Composite arrows and Manticore. A bit of a... I mean, I'm actually thinking about this. I mean, I main Vala, so there are a lot of hybrid builds that you can go for. On level 4, the talent that you miss out for is the Arsenal, which helps you to just push in helps you to push against waves. It does area of effect damage. I personally was always on the opinion that the talent, even though it became standard, is still one of those that I wouldn't mind missing out on it. We have Manticore now for the right-click damage in those fights, which can be quite strong. I guess with Manticore what they're trying to do is only use the multi-shot on Frost Shot then later. Oh, but that hit against Linked, wow! Linked is being saved, actually! Unbelievable! Like, he's getting saved. Nurok is coming in right now with the damage, starting to do his right-click damage as well on Vala, trying to take Gluehammer down here. Oh, and they're gonna get that kill, aren't they? Ooh, they are not! Wow, those battles that we see there. So much sustain from both of the teams with the heals and the protective shields that we're having for them. Malfurion is, in this case, yeah, just trying to save himself first of all with a protective shield. Usually, of course, you see him more towards the back, but in this case, it's very, very different. He was the target that they tried to single out, that Team Alternate were trying to single out, but he saved himself just in the last second with that, and therefore a lot of the spells going down on Malfurion that are originally supposed to throw him back there. So in this case, the bottom temple has not been taken yet, hasn't even been announced yet, but we have Mule already picked up. Still the piercing bolt on the side of Muradin, who went for the Thunderclap build on level 1 and level 4 for those first talents. One Mule on both sides, not only for Team Dignitas with Malfurion, but we also have another one on Tyrande for Team Alternate. And Team Alternate with also an adjustment in builds, not going for the, what's it called, the Arcane Intellect on level 4 on Jaina, but instead they're going for Snowstorm, which increases the Blizzard Radius. I like that talent a lot, I have to admit. I like Snowstorm a lot on her. We have the temple down to the bot lane now being claimed, at least for now, by Alternate, and it's level 8 versus the second level 8. Nearly the same amount of experience for the two teams. And Nurok goes now for searing attacks. I actually don't mind that build too much. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but for now let's just focus on Blood Dragon. He needs to jump out there, and he jumps out in the last second with the Dwarf Toss, gets healed up by Malfurion. Link is doing his job, and we have also Healing Ward in position. Blood Dragon trying to move in again with the team. Zagara here going for that creep spread build with the endless creep on level 7. Already trying to use that to at least get vision of those two bushes up at the top. Dignitas is really starting to claim that spot down here. Have Alternate moving back for now. 0 kills in the games, by the way. We are 5 minutes in and not a single kill just yet. This is pretty cool. Yeah, oh, there we go. And Guccio might be trouble. Oh, that burst with a Venom coming through thanks to Sylvanas. Very well done there. So they get the kill, but they are extremely low, especially Chris here in the backline on Zvala is starting to, I don't want to say struggle, but he is so low that he needs to be extremely careful. If he is attacked once again, he's going to fall. A nice move against Link, but he heals himself a second before that happens. Whoa, Chris is trying to escape, but there is no way. He ate those banelings just a second ago, and now he's getting dropped by Zagara. So it is the counter kill. Level 9 versus level 9. The last few shots on the temple fired against Alternate. They start to rotate to the top with Guccio to get the experience here on the top lane against this wave. At the bottom lane, we still have 4 heroes for Alternate pushing in, but Muradin in the mid lane is already applying some damage to that wall and making sure that he gets every single minion of that creep wave. So they're moving in for now. We have to the bottom lane. Still the attempt to get level 10 first with another drop against the tower, and that's exactly what Alternate succeeded with. We're having Chris moving up to the top after he just got revived a second ago, and Muradin also rotating over to take the vision. And just look at that creep spread. It's everywhere at this point. Zagara is really trying to get good vision on the map, and that includes, of course, the boss here. Wants to see when the big beetle is being attacked. We have now the water elemental summoned, or the snowman I should say, with that skin that Guccio is currently rocking on his Jaina. We're having stage dive of course on this map, with Blink Heal being used by Brightwing and Starfall plus Maul, which actually combines pretty well. But on the opponent's team it is the Wailing Arrow that Nurok used several times in this tournament already to get 3 and even 4 man silences off. Tranquility and Avatar being used, as Zvala is going straight for the Rain of Vengeance to maybe lock somebody down and then also get damage in together with Tazada, who has the Archon form for exactly that. Oh, nice move by Nurok. Really good Haunting Wave and jump there. Gluehammer not getting anything out of this power slide. And I wanted to talk a bit about that Vala composition once again, and I really like it. And the reason why I actually enjoy this right now is that we are having, of course, battle momentum taken away from the teams, and therefore you don't get as many multi-shots in as you usually did, and that makes the multi-shot build a bit weaker. But we still saw with arrow build and right-click build, oftentimes frost shot taken on level 13, and that talent becomes so much more effective if you have the level 1 multi-shot talent as well, which is composite arrow. So I personally really like that he goes for that talent and then decides to go straight into Manticore and Searing attacks, because that increases his right-click damage incredibly. And if you go for Searing attacks anyways, because battle momentum isn't available anymore, you might as well get the most out of your right-click damage, since you already are in a position where you have to do that. Chris is completely zoned out here, and that is not a healthy position to be in, but the lockdown against Guccio, they eliminate Jaina in this battle at the bottom shrine. The more killing Link for now. We had ETC jumping at the top lane. They abandoned this position already. After they lost the hero, they just said, alright guys, this fight is over. Let's back off here. We can't get anything done. And ETC used his ultimate to jump to the top lane. And just basically, that's them saying, okay, we accept defeat here. We rotate heroes to the rest of the lanes, starting to get the EXP. And we will get that top temple. Bluehammer apparently focuses something else on the map as he gets pushed away by the Ancient. Yeah, so I like the move from Alternate here. They already realized they wouldn't be able to win that fight, but now they have to contest the boss at the bot lane. And with ETC already using his stage dive to go to the top, they are of course now in a position where they can't rotate fast enough, or at least not as fast as they were hoping for. But still, contesting that is really easy for them. They had 4 heroes in position already, and without a talent lead, there's just no way that Dignitas is really going to risk that. It's a risky move and they know it. If they get that in somehow, sneak it in without the opponent knowing, then yeah, why not go for it? But in this case, they don't get that opportunity. Now we have one of the hard camps at this time currently in at the top lane taken, the Bruiser camp here with 3 heroes, Link, Tomzi and Blood Dragon start that. But of course, Alternate is trying to do the same thing. 13 talents coming to play a bit faster for Team Dignitas here. They are having a slight lead in experience. Nothing too fancy that will allow them to use a timing or some kind of timing window here, but it's of course a helpful talent to take. And here comes that Frost Shot on 13 that we've been talking about, and the kill against Tyrande with a kill against Crawler, who jumped into very, very nice coordination for Team Dignitas, and now they can go for that boss. Doesn't matter if there's creep spread from Zagara and they know what's coming. It doesn't matter at all. With 2 heroes dead, there is no way for Alternate to seriously contest that. They cannot commit to this. There's just no way. Not even on the same talents. Uber Rockstar already taken. We have a double ice block right now. Boss goes. They try 2 more. Oh, they steal it! Holy crap! No way! That Maw was in such a perfect spot that nobody could get into position. Guccio is dying. He will die in a second after the ice block is over. I cannot believe that they got a Maw that was... I have to rewatch that, seriously. Was there no position where they could get onto the platform? That was incredible. Was that planned? Did they really plan that? Or was that them getting lucky in the end and ETC just like getting that edge of that circle to get the boss? That must be super frustrating for Dignitas right now. Wow. I mean, they couldn't win a fight and they knew that. And they lost Zagara in that battle. So from that perspective, they didn't really do anything with it. But they denied the boss to the opponents. They forced them to drop Mule at the bot lane to save that 4. I cannot believe that they were able to take that boss. They lost, of course, another hero, and that's 6 kills against 1 right now. So from that perspective, it didn't really help them, but stealing that boss away made sure that their bot lane is still in a very, very good spot, in really good shape, because without that, they would have lost a lot here. But it's very interesting. At the same time, we're having now a giant killer taken on Zagara on level 13. When was the last time that you saw that talent taken there? So they really go for some of the damage. We have also another Thunderclap talent taken on 13 for Blood Dragon on his Muradin, with a nice block on Malfurion, and evasive fire, of course, on the side of Sylvanas. But yeah, there we go into that battle again, into the next fight. Blood Dragon with a good clap. They're trying to go for that. The jump by ETC doesn't really hit too much there, but Blood Dragon has to move away, gets healed by Link once more. Chris with an attempt to use the Rain of Vengeance, but this time he doesn't really hit anything. So this is starting to get a bit more dangerous. Dignitas already used a lot of their heroic abilities. A great Wailing Arrow there, but they move in. Guccio, can they take Guccio? They're going for it. They're trying to claim the fight, but this is getting tricky. Oh, but now suddenly the control in the battle shifting, the momentum. Alternate is moving back already. Gluehammer really low. Vala moving in with another Frost Shot, multi-shot, and down goes ETC. He got slowed, and this is not the only one that they're trying to take here. Nurok just barely surviving against that Hunter Killer Hydralisk, but he gets away. Yep, the arrow or the owl gets eaten, gets blocked, but that was a very, very nice turnaround that they had here, and a lot of it happened on the back of the level 16 talent that came into play. Double blood for blood, hardened focus, dimensional warp, which makes, of course, together with the Prescience, that Tacita very difficult to kill. It's a great talent for them to take. Stoneform should be the talent of choice on Muradin. I would be very surprised to not see that. I guess you could go for Imposing Presence. It is another talent that you might want to take, but Stoneform is just so damn good that most people will never really pass up on it, and I wouldn't either, because I can tell you, I play Muradin a lot, and it just makes you nearly unkillable. If you don't get focused extremely hard, if you just get away for a second, you will heal up again. Stoneform is just absolutely great. 50% of your maximum health over 8 seconds? Hell yeah. That is pretty damn good. Either way though, we're having 7 kills against 1, and you can really tell that Dignitas is playing a great game here. Alternate has some really nice decisions in general, which fights to take, which ones to abandon, how to move on the map, but the fights are just not won by them. They do not have that damage right now. Zagara, I feel, is not really delivering as much as we want to. We have 20,000 damage on her, but I'm not sure that in those fights they really get as much damage in with her as they would like to, because she is one of the targets that gets focused a lot. Zagara and Jaina are getting focused constantly, and it's really difficult to keep them alive. ETC jumping in with another stage dive. Blood Dragon could jump away, and he does use the Dwarf Toss, and they're going straight for Tyrande, not for Tyrande, but of course for Zagara. Had to move back though. Hunter Killer is once again active, and that Hydralisk is slithering in and trying to push some more damage in. Level 16 now also on the board for the Polish team, and they are using it for the Imposing Presence on ETC. Criterize on Brightwing, which is great. 25% additional damage on the polymorph target. Oh yeah, that is also stacking with Tyrande and the Hunter's Mark, and therefore you can really drop a target super fast if you can. Bribe being used to steal a camp away, I like it. Wow, just the nick of time, but still, they need to be careful. There's the Hunter Killer talent coming in. Now we have 2 charges of that. And on Zagara, that is. On top of that giant killer that I still find very interesting, because that talent is something that you nearly never see on the hero. But yeah, 2-shot aura also on the side of Tyrande. It's by the way funny that we're seeing the camp to the left side stolen away by Alternate, and then we have Dignitas moving into the right side and saying like, hell, if you just like, we're gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, because if you take that away from us, we're gonna steal yours. Just like that. You steal ours, we steal yours. 2 temples activating in the next phase of the game. Up to the top, we're having Krolu moving in to claim that temple here. Dignitas wants to go for the boss apparently. Interesting. They are 1.5 levels ahead. They go for boss. And how is Alternate going to react to that? Brightwing can jump down. The rest of the team is rotating. A very bold move by Dignitas. Apparently they really want to take this one. And here comes the jump. ETC goes in. They're trying to snipe 2 of the heroes. Chris is there fighting. No hero dashes yet. But ETC is getting very, very low. And when he drops, yes, there's the boss in the hands of Dignitas. They lose Muradin. Both of the tanks are dead. Now it's just the DPS and the healer slugging it out here. And the move forward. A triple stun by Tyrande, very well done, but the boss is barreling down the bottom lane now for Team Dignitas, and that means that both of the temples are up for grabs at this point, and they are moving in immediately, especially that middle temple, since it has a lot of shots available. Tomze is being attacked here on his Tassadar, moving away and healed by Ling. They drop the storm, but here comes the full force of the Polish team. Alternate is starting to move in. What is Dignitas going to do? Are they going to take that fight? They want that temple, of course. They have to buy some time. That boss is doing work at the bot lane, but eventually the towers and the keep are going to take it out. And they abandon that particular position right now. Too much heal, and without their Muradin, without their tank, they're apparently not willing to take that fight just yet. They have a level lead, so they can play it slow, they can play it safe, they don't have to overextend here, and there's still always the top temple that you can go for, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. But of course they're getting pressured here, with the mules constantly being dropped throughout the entire game. Not a single keep has been eliminated just yet. The fight at the top lane, Alternate abandons the temple. They're saying, alright, get the last few shots in, we don't mind, and they lost the keep to the bottom. So that's of course a big downside right now, a big disadvantage for Alternate. They lost that keep. Not sure if they were trying to save it, if they could have saved it if they were moving back with one more hero to really deal with it. Maybe Zagara jumping back, that would also have meant for them to abandon the temple, I suppose, though. And now level 20 is on the board, and that's of course tricky. Muradin with a hardened shield over the potential rewind, which allows him to go for the double stun with the Storm Bolt. A blink, a Bolt of the Storm on Bala and on Sylvanas, so going for mobility here, trying to save themselves from any potential aggression and focus. And we're seeing the Twilight Archon on the side of Tassadar, whereas Malfurion went straight for the Storm Shield. With the 20 talent, they can drop another keep, and they kinda have to, in my opinion. You need to take fights with 20 if you don't want to lose your advantage. Once that both teams are able to use to level 20 abilities, level 20 talents, you are fighting every single battle on eye level. That's that advantage that you might get because you hit the next level faster is nice, but it's usually not going to be the thing that decides a fight. So right now that level 20 talent is extremely important, and it is the advantage that you're trying to run with. Blood Dragon is being attacked here. It's a four-man defense since ETC is not with the team just yet. There's a lot of poking here on the side of Alternate, trying to just push them back, and ETC is going to bring them the level 20 very soon. And Alternate actually says, alright, we got the message, we move back for now, and we are going to take your hard camp first. The problem is, of course, that Mule over here is healing that keep up again. And that is a really, really tricky thing. 20, not there just yet, but it will be any second. And then Gluehammer can jump into the fight, and Alternate really forgoes that advantage. They move back, they take the camps on the map. I have to admit, I'm not a fan of that decision. I think they should have tried and pushed in the keep. They would have forced ETC back at some point, and then they can fight with 20 against 19. And I think that Storm Shield, I think that Hardened Shield, and also the two Blinks are strong enough to make that work. Now they have to fight against even levels with their opponents, and that is going to be, I don't want to say like too tricky or difficult, but it's definitely going to be, it's a bigger risk, I feel. A double blink on the side of Alternate. We're having them with a rewind on Brightwing, and that gives him a double polymorph, and that alone is already something that I personally would not want to go up against. We're having also ETC with a hardened shield. That bad boy is already pretty difficult to kill anyways, and this makes it even more difficult. There comes the owl. It's a shrine for a shrine, or a temple for a temple. Mid lane is already getting attacked. Mules are being dropped everywhere, of course. And in terms of damage, we can have another look at that. Especially Zagara and Jaina, of course, the damage dealers for the team. Yeah, ETC jumping in, they're going for Tomze, get the lockdown. And he just barely gets away here. The ball hitting too. Oh, Nande very low here, but gets away. Also, the Starfall has been used here. Sylvanas is moving in. There comes that Snowman, the Wall Element Doom damage. Tomze barely gets away there. Prescience and Dimensional Warp saving him for now. But at this point, Dignitas has to move back. Alternate suddenly in a decent spot to claim those temples. They have their opponents very low in HP. Tomze gets dropped this time. He doesn't get away here, and this turns the battle into a 5 versus 4. Dignitas is being punished for playing a bit too hesitant earlier. They're trying, of course, to take those fights now and at least buy themselves some time. But with the mid-temple already taken, Brightwing jumping in to go for another polymorph. Blood Dragon is about to drop. And now suddenly two of the heroes are dead, and Linked or Norok, they might die too if... Oh, Guccio needs to be super careful, gets healed, and Link gets away too. But both of those temples ending up now in the hands of Team Alternate, and they could go for the boss down here. Problem is though that the waves, and especially those camps that were taken earlier, took a second keep down, and that is really the saving grace for Dignitas right now. If not for those, they would have been in a lot more trouble. And Alternate doesn't even go for the boss. They don't even try. We still have 3 heroes for Dignitas on the map, roaming the map right now, trying to get the damage in. Alternate is a bit... Yeah, they are, in terms of the fights that they just won with the double polymorph and all that stuff, they are in a decent position. The problem for them is that they lost a second keep. During all of this, they lost a second keep, and that was, of course, more than only unfortunate. And they didn't even really capitalize on them being in a 5 versus 3 position by taking the boss. They're trying to take it now, but all that Dignitas has to do is stall for Muradin to come back into play. Not sure if they can manage that though, because Muradin just now comes back, and he has a long way to go. And that boss is about to drop. And there's already Healing Ward in position, and yeah, they have to abandon it. So Alternate at least gets that. They have to defend again, because now the catapults are moving in, or the ballista, together with the siege giants. But the fights are starting to really shift in favor of Alternate, since they have now ETC just being so much more tanky, and I cannot stress enough how difficult this double polymorph on Brightwing is to deal with, especially with that Storm Shield on Tyrande now as well. Keeps them alive, makes sure that they get extra damage in, and Tyrande Hunter's Mark plus a double critterized polymorph is extremely strong. Dignitas still has their keeps though. They even have a lot of their walls still intact. But they need to win a fight. The next phase is going to activate 3 temples, and once that happens, the battles are going to be very difficult for Dignitas, because they would like to spread out and take a temple, at least 1 or 2. That would help them a lot to attack the core of their opponent. The problem with that is that you have ETC with a stage dive, so Alternate can move to 1 temple, take that, jump to another one with ETC, and use Right Wing to move in as well. As long as they really play that game well, they can really turn it around here. Let's see how Alternate is going to play that. I think they need more than only 1 temple. 1 temple just is not going to be enough. And that's something that they also know. They need to win a fight. This is going to result in the next fight potentially ending the game either way. So it depends very much on how exactly those fights are going to be taken and who is going to take them. Krolu, Nande, Dark Onix, they're all just waiting for the shrines to activate, and they take the mid temple. Mid temple and bottom temple is already about to be taken. That's a double temple that you have there. So if they leave Brightwing here, rotate 3 heroes to the top, they can take the fight against their opponents. The temple over there is going to eliminate this one, but it's not going to drop the keep. Is Alternate just simply trading 2 temples for 1? They could. They actually could, and they eliminate the keep in the mid lane easily. 1 keep eliminated. The bottom keep is also gonna fall, and they can take this one too. Yeah, but they are trying to rush the core. They're trying to threaten the core now, Dignitas that is. They're moving in, and we have a few heroes already rotating back, but that means that Krolo will have to jump back as well. The shields are already gone over here, and now the core is being attacked directly. Chris is still there. It's only a couple of shots left, but they won't be able to drop the core, and the 3rd keep is about to be eliminated. ETC jumped in. They're going for the fight. 37% on the core. A lot more than I thought. I really didn't think that they would be able to do this much damage to the core. And now, of course, you're always in danger of being backdoored. But 2 keeps lost as well. The last one down here can be repaired by a mule if they get in position. The problem is still that we could... Oh, ETC doesn't have stage dive. ETC needs to move back, and he needs to move back fast. He can't take that temple. Here's the mule. The mule can, of course, heal that up. Nurok is jumping in. Over there, Tomze is making his over as well. They're trying to rush the core. There's so many heroes, though. This is going to get so close. And yes, it is probably going to fall. They're taking it, and it's the good game. And map number 1 as Dignitas takes the map against Team Alternate. Dignitas takes the match on Sky Temple and is now in the lead in the Go4Heroes final with a 1-0 against Alternate. And Cursed Hollow is the second map. And Cursed Hollow is also the map where both of the teams were starting to experiment with builds a bit. Well, I should probably say it was more Alternate than Dignitas. Dignitas going into a very standard Illidan composition. So yeah, I think I spoke a bit too soon there. But Alternate, they really experimented quite a lot. We've been talking about double healer against Illidan already quite a bit, and that's not where Alternate stopped. Alternate said, hey, listen up guys, if we actually go double healer anyways, we might run something completely different here. And they went into Sonya as their frontliner, which is actually a pretty crazy idea, because Sonya is not really a hero that you immediately jump to when you're saying, okay, we need somebody who really holds that front line and is extremely strong at pushing the opponent back. But Sonya, on the other hand, is a hero that oftentimes gets picked against Illidan. Well, not often, but occasionally, you know what I mean, especially Fnatic experimenting with a hero, trying to utilize that burst damage and that initiation. And in the case that you are running a double healer, it kind of starts to make sense to try Sonya out again, because Divine Shield on Uther can keep her alive. You have a lot of healing power as well. Of course, Sonya has a lot of self-sustain too that she can use in those fights. So a very interesting attempt here by Team Alternate to finally get a hold on the Illidan composition that Dignitas is playing here. Cursed follows the map, and we're going to find out right now if Alternate can come back into the series with a Sonya combination, or if Dignitas is going to take the 2-0. The second game in the final, in the best of 3 at the Go4Heroes Tournament, and once again we have very, very interesting comps. I actually like them quite a lot, and there is a lot of, like, I don't really want to call it new meta just yet, but both teams really put some thought into the drafting process here, and we're going to talk about this in just a second. To the left side for Dignitas we have Chris on Illidan. As you can see, we're having Tomze playing a Tyrande here, and Nurok on Sergeant Hammer. Blood Dragon is playing ETC and Linked on Rhaegar. And interestingly enough, for the opponent's team, we're having Sonya in the game, played by Gluehammer. on the side of Alternate, of course. Dark Onix on Jaina, Nando and Uther, Krollu and Brightwing, and Zagara played by Guccio. So we really have to talk about this quite a bit, I feel, and especially, of course, we have to talk about the Sonya pick, which I actually like, and I'm gonna explain in just a few seconds why that is. First of all, of course, we had Dignitas start things out with an Illidan composition. They were trying to run Illidan here, and this is something that Alternate, of course, tried to counter. The way that they did that is an approach that Wilmette took in several of their games in the recent past, where they go for a simple double healer composition. They have Brightwing in the team, and that helps them with Polymorph against Illidan, and of course with the heals themselves as well. Criterize later makes it easier to just drop Illidan if he jumps in. And as you can see, we are also having them with Uther, which they basically picked away from Illidan so that the Divine Shield is not going to become a big problem. And that double healer attempt at first is already a pretty cool thing to see, and it's something that I really like here. The one pick on the side of Dignitas that I personally did not really like too much, or didn't really understand fully at first, is that Nurok went for Sergeant Hammer over Vala, which was still up for grabs. Hammer, of course, can really push nice, we see that already with the range, but the problem that you have with him is that Jaina is being used on the side of Team Alternate, and if they pick, for example, Snowstorm on level 4, which they did in the last game, then they have a pretty huge range or radius on that Blizzard, and then it's going to make it very difficult for Nurok to really use the siege mode on his Hammer without being attacked by Jaina immediately and eating up a lot of damage. The last pick that we had on the side of Alternate was pretty crazy. That was actually Sonya, and I kind of like that, and the reason is quite simple. I mean, at the beginning you look at it and you say like, oh my god, they picked Sonya, what did they do here? But Alternate in general was a team that really experimented with Sonya a lot. And what I like about this is that Sonya has been used from a lot of teams as a bit of a counter to Illidan. Not really a hard counter or anything, but it just adds up for the rest of the team composition that you try to run against the melee assassin. She can leap in quite easily, and even if she doesn't leap but goes for Wrath of the Berserker, the main idea here is really move in, get the spear in against Illidan, and then use 1 or 2 slams right behind that. So it's a lot of damage that bursts in just in a short amount of time, and that's really, really important against Illidan. They have Uther on the team with Divine Shield later on, so the problem with Sonya was always to keep her alive, but with a double healer, because you want to counter out Illidan, and then also one of them being Uther for the Divine Shield, you suddenly have an extremely good setup to keep Sonya alive. So in theory, this is actually a pretty nice lineup that they have to counter what Dignitas is doing here, and I'm extremely excited to see how this is going to work out for them, because the thought process behind it is pretty sweet. Gluehammer here already needs to be careful though. We have at the bot lane now Blood Dragon and Tomze, both of them trying to go for the tribute, but still the rest of the team is grabbing experience in all of the lanes. Nurok and Krollu up at the top lane going up against each other, and Chris and Nanda in the mid lane are soaking the experience for their teams. Here comes the Ancient Spear for Gluehammer, moving in. We're having on level 1 of course the Shot of Fury taken, and then the Furious Blow on level 4. No big surprise there. A double shield, protective shield already taken also on the Uther and on Brightwing. Keep in mind that we have 2 potential cleanses here too. I think Brightwing is going to go for the Gust of Healing, but at least 1 cleanse is going to be in the team, which is already going to be great for them. Now down here the tribute is still being fought over, and I love how Linked on Rhaegar is trying to just annoy them by using the lightning shield here. Again, the attempt to interrupt that channel, this time by Tyrande with an owl, but that didn't work out. Level 4 now ready for both of the teams. And at the top lane, it's still that push from Nurok, and every single time that he goes into siege mode, Krollu can of course simply use Polymorph to lock him out of there. We have a double first aid on the side of Dignitas, who reach level 7 a bit faster, and we're also seeing the Lunar Blaze talent taken on a level 4, which is actually quite common. We have, interestingly enough, no Blizzard taken, but no Snowstorm, but instead Envenom. Very aggressive talent to get, and I guess it just helps with you putting pressure on a hero like Illidan if he starts to jump in too far. But it's interesting to see that going up against Sergeant Hammer. I mean, let's face it, Snowstorm is not the talent that you see most of the time. We have a lot of talents that are very common on level 4, Venom being one of them, and I just expected that they might try and counteract maybe Sergeant Hammer a bit harder. Even without the radius increase on Blizzard, you can do a lot of work with that particular talent, with that particular ability with Blizzard against the Sergeant Hammer that sieges up too much. I love to see Ferocious Healing here on level 7 for Sonya. It's the exact same build that I play on the hero too. Sonya is pretty sweet. A little bit disappointed we don't see the Wrath skin here on the side of Gluehammer, but well, we can't have it all, I suppose. So yeah, he needs to be careful also against Blood Dragon because he's dropping in hit points, but the Ferocious Healing is going to help him with that. Gust of Healing used and 1 cleanse for the team with a double healer strategy. Jaina is the one who's trying to take the tribute. Oh, that could be a close one. Ah, but Chris jumps in just in the nick of time. Endless Creep chosen on the side of Zagara to make sure that they get the full vision on the map with all those creep tumors everywhere around. Yeah, Nurok and Krolo still battling it out there. Bright, by the way, taken on Brightwing. Not really the most common talent any longer. We had a lot of adjustments in the recent past, and therefore one of the things that we should probably point out as well. Right now we're having everybody just rotating towards the tribute again, or like at least like all of the heroes that don't have to be on lanes to soak experience, they are rotating. And this is working out pretty well for Dignitas because with Sarge and Hammer they've been able to clear the entire wall at the top. That's extra experience that they were able to get, and therefore they're very close to level 10, and once they hit that they will be able to claim the tribute. Jaina is getting really low and Illidan is really starting to be aggressive here. He's trying to jump in and Dark Onyx is about to die. Down goes Jaina, level 10 hits, incoming Metamorphosis, and the next kill against Guccio. Nothing that you can do against that. Linked even using the Ancestral Healing to make sure that Tomze on his Tyrande is not gonna get counter-killed. So suddenly it's 2 kills against 0. The tribute taken. Dignitas really exploiting that situation, and that is unfortunate to say the least for Team Alternate, because by now they fall even farther behind. Level 11 in the second against level 10, and that is very good news here for Dignitas. Dignitas are already in the lead with a 1-0 in this best of 3 series at the Go4Heroes final. Meaning, of course, that if Cursed Hollow is not won by Alternate, they will lose this best of 3 without even winning a map, and the champion of the tournament is going to be Dignitas. Right now, we have no leap taken yet. Are they going to go maybe for... No, they go for leap. They go for leap, and it makes sense. Leap, Divine Shield, Blink Heal, Devouring Maw, and we have the Water Element. This is a pretty aggressive stance there by Alternate, going straight for that. Oh, the tribute also spawning here. I guess they're going to abandon that for now. Gluehammer already going in with a spear. But this is the first time that we have set up for both of the teams where they can use their heroic abilities. And this is really what I'm excited about. To see Sonya in that team fight environment with the setup that they have. Trying to use the leap, trying to counteract Illidan, and really just trying to lock those stuns together. Those ETC jumping in, and immediately they go for him. They go for him immediately. No just yet. Gluehammer is thinking about it, I can tell you. Playing Sonya a lot myself, I know that he's definitely... His fingers are itching. You're always itching for a good leap, and oftentimes you just hit nothing. An absolute airball. But in this case right now, are they gonna fall for it? They are moving back. They don't want to take the fight apparently, or are they? Zagara is stunning them out. Apparently they're just trying to delay it for as long as they can and soak experience with Crawler at the bot lane to get back in EXP. 12 against nearly 11, and once again Zagara stunning that out. They're just buying time. They're just buying time for Brightwing to do the damage, and they're doing it well. They're doing it very well, and Dignitas, they need to be careful now, because if they lose too much time here, they will lose their experience advantage. Brightwing is still going ham at the bot lane, is starting to take towers now. It's 11 versus 12, and we're having already Illidan rotating to the mid lane since they are realizing that they're losing too much experience just standing around there and trying to get that tribute. So they rotate heroes across the map once more to make sure that they have an opportunity. Yeah, Gluehammer's doing the same thing, and the tribute is still up. Nobody committing fully to a fight yet. Not going straight for that. Bot lane, that's where Brightwing is still in position. And Nanda is zoning that out again. And you can really tell that that difference in experience, like the gap is definitely closing. The gap is very much closing now. Nurok is trying to just poke a bit with his own heroic ability with a napalm. And are they committing now? They bring Brightwing into play, and that's where we are. They could see a leap. Here comes Blood Dragon. More already used. Blood Dragon nearly dying, but the stun a bit too late. Locking those down for a second. Krolo and Brightwing already moving back. Dark Onyx is low, but Sonya is dead, and that engagement going so well right now for Dignitas. Jumping in, taking down Zagara, going straight for Jaina. That's a triple kill right there already, and they're done. Krolo escapes, but that was a great fight. A very, very good fight. That Sonya, for Dignitas, of course, I mean, blood, obviously. The thing is that Sonya never really got that leap off that they wanted. They usually with this combo, what you're trying to do there is maybe isolate a target with a Maul and Zagara and then go for one of the squishies and burst them down. That didn't really work. With a double healer, you are happy to fight sustained fights, but that bit of damage that you have with Jaina, and of course especially then with the spear and the stun lock on the side of Sonya, you need to get that in, and they weren't able to do that, and then it just turned around when Dignitas was starting to jump in. The boss taken at the bot lane, and this is a very ballsy move by Alternate. They've been trying to take the bottom boss already, but with 13 against 12, that's just no way. They don't even take the boss here. Overflowing Light now taken, which is great for Illidan in particular. We're having Giant Killer, of course, for Sergeant Hammer and Uber Rockstar, together with a Feral Lunge on level 13 for Rhaegar. The bot lane is really being pushed hard by the boss, and this is, of course, bad news right now, since the top boss is about to be claimed too. Wow, they actually leave that alone and try to contest the top. They're way too late for that. Way too late. Not even with a leap. Boss is taken, and this could be the worst case scenario. Tribute? Curse? Against two bosses pushing? It does not get worse than that. That's going to be two bosses pushing, I'm not even joking. They need to interrupt that. They need to try. Oh, the mines! They're going for it! They're going for it! Oh, that napalm hit home! Did you see that? That napalm! Oh, Divine Shield had to be used. There comes again the leap a bit too late. Link survives. Oh, he goes back, he dies, but Zagara is dead as well, and Sonya is about to drop. 2 heroes for 1, and that's not the end of it. Nanda dies on his Uther. We could see Brightwing dying as well. Krollo used an ice block, but yeah, that's not gonna work out. He's not in range for Blink heal. Actually, he heals himself and gets back after all. They ignore the tribute for now, move back in to take it. Chris jumps back on Illidan in the last second, does not get dropped. The boss is already on the way. One boss at the bot lane got destroyed. So at least they avoided running into 2 bosses with a curse upon them. I don't even know if I want to call that a win or a loss. I mean, in terms of hero kills, they of course lost it quite hard. If they can maybe get a kill against Nurok, that would probably be worth it here. Sonya is already moving in, doesn't have the... Oh, do we have a spear? Nope. A little bit too late, since we already saw another thruster activation, but the boss is moving towards the key, but the core, but the core alone, of course, taking it down. I'm really not sure how to call that. I mean, they lost the fight, yes, they lost heroes, but they avoided that horrible timing. And to be frank, I think even with them losing more heroes there than they killed, it was, at the end of the day, more or less a victory for them. Doesn't really change the fact that they're so far behind that they can't really do anything right now, though. Triple stone skin on the side of Dignitas, blood for blood, and also the True Shot Aura. 16 versus 14, nearly 17, a 3-level lead. The stat advantage alone is incredible. And yeah, they're trying to save what they can, but the top keep is already gone, and they are gonna lose even more here. I still think that if 2 bosses move towards your base and you get cursed, you are going to lose much more than they did right now. You are going to fall even farther behind. They would have at least lost 2 of the keeps. Like this, they could save one, but of course, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that they're incredibly far behind. It's a lost situation. There is no right decision in that case. We're having the composite spear on level 13. No spell shield or anything like that. I don't really think that spell shield would help them there, but still, they could have tried to play this. The spear in itself is actually not too bad if you're trying to catch somebody out, but at this point right now it's really tricky for them to get the kill in regardless. They have Nurok for the range, and I mean, I've been talking earlier about the siege mode, but if you're that far behind and you're even lacking a talent, you just cannot engage into that. You can't engage, and that's the problem that they're having here. The second keep is now finally down. We're having Gluehammer and Nanda trying to push back at the top, but this is, of course, this is a devastating situation for Alternate, and Dignitas is playing a great game. Not really making any big mistakes here. The 2-3 team fights that we saw, they controlled those extremely well, and I also like their movements on the map very, very much. They have a lot of map vision. Rhaegar linked playing the hero, of course. I mean, he is one of those Rhaegar players that we see on this hero quite often. Him and Ace of Spades, probably the best Rhaegar players currently in the European scene. And he also made sure that with the Farsight, he had the vision on whatever was going on. They saw every single attempt of Alternate to try and get one of the tributes or one of the bosses. Saw their position early, and yeah, it's just a very solid performance by them. Level 16 talent now putting the Northern Exposure, the Benediction and Criterize into the hands of Alternate. Maybe that's now an opportunity for them to win one of those team fights, fighting on even talents. But of course it's not going to be an easy fight, them being 2 levels behind and therefore several stat points. But we're having Dignitas moving towards the bottom lane with 5. There's a tribute on the map that is going to be ignored for now, since, well, Dignitas is of course aiming for level 20. They're going to try and get a bit of experience there. Ah! They don't even get the kill against the... okay, Nuruk is moving in with the thrusters and moves away and says like, hey guys, why did you kill that tower? Come on, alright. Do I have to do everything on my own here? And uses the napalm. So, yeah. They get a bit more experience, closing in on the 19, still having that 2-level lead against their opponents. Nice Owl covering the retreat for now. And it's boss time again. And ETC is already up to the top, but Blood Dragon can of course jump down with a stage dive. Thing is, they don't really need him to do that just now. They don't really need to go for the boss at this point. They just need to make sure that Team Alternate is not going to get one. Or that if Alternate goes for boss, that they just get the second one on the map. That's all that they have to do. As long as they make sure that they don't lose a fight right now and wait for level 20 to take the next big battle, they're completely fine. That's going to be the passive approach, I want to say. But they're going to try and take at least the boss down here and Alternate. They're rotating. Alternate, they rotate. They know that they have to do something right now. If they wait for 20, they will lose another keep. That's kind of given already. 19 versus 17. Alternate starting to get in position. Brightwing already TP'd in. He already used his phase shift to join up with the rest of the team. And they're just checking what's happening over there. Linked with the vision is supplying that right now. Yeah, they get the vision range here and they know exactly what's happening thanks to that little ward. Glue Hammer gets stunned for a second. That boss hitting hard. There's a tribute. The core, by the way, is starting to get attacked. There's 3 catapults already. 3 catapults. Those are going to drop the shields at least to a certain extent. I don't think that it's really going to matter too much since those waves are going to spawn any second now for Alternate, so that will help to deep push those lanes again. But the shields are suddenly starting to drop, and that just shows once again that all that Dignitas has to do is buy time. As long as they buy time, they are going to be super safe here. Over here we have the catapults still doing their work. Down here it's still that it's still that battle, that sustained battle, that poking with the lava strike. Oh, Glue Hammer already moving back. The stun coming into play now. 19 versus 17. They're trying to catch the tribute. Dark Onyx in the back. They create a lot of space for him, and he's gonna get it. He is gonna get it. So well done by Alternate. That was a very important one. Making sure that they get the second one here. Oh, and Glue Hammer. I don't think they're going for it. There's no leap just yet. Can they isolate a target? Tomze was forced down to the bot lane, and he needs to go the long way now to join up with the rest of the team. So that's going to be quite important. But yeah, Krolu, wow, just jumps away there. If that napalm hits him, then he's in trouble. But they see that Brightwing is gone. He can, of course, move in again. But are they gonna go for the move or not? Oh, here comes the spear, and they're leaping in! Nurok is low, but gets healed. Linked is getting sucked in again, and he's down! Linked is down. Is that the moment where Alternate can suddenly turn around? It looks like it. Illidan is completely dropped, stunned, critterized, and he goes just... Glue Hammer going ham here. Blood Dragon on the way back. Dark Onyx still trying to chase him. And they're going for the boss right now. Nurok with the pokes. He's using the napalm. It's a 5 versus 3 situation. But as long as Nurok can use his napalm, they might be in a position where they can accomplish something here. They heal against Sagara, saving her for now. They know that this is a tricky spot to be in. The tribute spawning all the way up to the top. That would be the curse against Dignitas. 2 heroes still down for Dignitas. The German team is trying, but they can't do anything here. ETC jumps in and kills Sagara. They get the kill against Sagara, but they heal for Jaina, saving her for now. The boss is moving already down the lane, and they are moving back with 4 heroes. It's a 4 versus 3, but they are low, and Blood Dragon is moving in. Is he going to go for the power slide? He's going to go for it in just a second. Glue Hammer got stunned, and goodbye, Sonya. Sonya is dead, and they are not stopping here. They have a level 20, and you can tell that these are already low. I mean, look at those catapults doing the damage. They're on 32%. Their kill against Jaina, and now they can just simply move in. They have the rewind already taken. The catapults alone are going to eliminate the core. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game as Dignitas wins the Go4Heroes Tournament and eliminates Alternate with a 2-0 in the best of 3 series. Congratulations to Dignitas. Really well played and a great game here on Cursed Hollow. And Team Dignitas, they take it. They win the series with a 2-0. They win the Go4Heroes final. So congratulations to them. Very, very well played here today. A 2-0 victory over Alternate, and they just crowned their entire performance of the day. A huge achievement for them, of course, and very well deserved at that. Great games that we saw from them today. Alternate, of course, a bit unfortunate for them that they weren't able to make it here, didn't even win a map in the final, but they played a great tournament and they came in second place. So also quite the accomplishment here. Congratulations to both of the teams, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the series and enjoyed the matches today. If you did, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, and of course if you have any questions, just post them in the comments and we're gonna go over those if we can. So guys, thank you very much for watching today. I hope that you had fun, and I'm gonna see you next time with more Heroes of the Storm on Khaldor TV.